Also out this week, The Pacifier, which is the new movie by Vin Diesel, who didn't you say that Vin Diesel is going back to the franchise,
even though he was killed?
Yes. So you say that? Okay. Well,
apparently that's true.
In the meantime, Vin Diesel has been doing the Arnold Schwarzenegger. There is a certain line that goes like this: if you're an action adventure hero and you want to widen out your appeal, you have to serve a certain amount of time doing kid-friendly family movies. And in the case of Schwarzenegger started out, he was the Terminator, he was the baddie. Then he became the good Terminator, the kind of father figure. Then there was Kindergarten Cop, in which he looked after a bunch of kids. And then, if you remember, in that movie with Emma Thompson, in which he actually got pregnant. Remember that? Arnold Schwarzenegger becomes artery. So he widened his portfolio. Well, this, therefore, is Vin Diesel widening his portfolio. He starts off, he's a Navy SEAL, he's trained to do all these things, jump, fly, knives, guns, blah, 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 blah. And due to a plot contrivance, which I won't even begin to go into because it's really not worth it, he ends up having to look after a family of kids while their mother is away. The father has been dispatched in the early scenes of the movie, but everyone seems to get over that pretty damn quickly, and we get down to the hilarious business of Vin dealing with young children. Let's hear a clip.
Zoe says you look like the Hulk. I think you're cute.
Thank you.
Do you do Kung Fu?
Yes.
Did you ever punch someone so hard that their head came off?
No.
Why are your boobs so big?
They're not boobs.
Do you have to wear a bra? So will my boobs get as big as yours someday?
You know, little girl, I think it's time you went nappy-poo in Betty Pie Land.
Do I look like I'm 5 to you?
What did I say?
Disrespectful. And to think I was interested in you.
That, incidentally, is the funniest scene in the whole film. The rest of the film does largely consist of Vin Diesel doing the thing about, he has to change the baby's nappy. And guess what? Babies' nappies, they really smell. Ugh. And then the kids are really disrespectful, but it's okay because Vin Diesel's a Navy SEAL, and then he gets them to kind of learn about themselves. And there's one thing which looks like it's going to turn into a really strange subversive subplot in which one of the kids starts dyeing his hair blonde and dressing up as a Nazi. And you think, I'm sorry, where is this going? Then, of course, it turns out that actually he has a theatrical bent and he's playing one of the kids in a musical version of The Sound of Music. So it's okay. So the brief frisson of where on earth is this film going to was over very briefly, and we were back down to the usual stuff. I mean, I don't honestly know who this is aimed at, because kids will just find it completely stupid and boring, and older people will find it completely stupid and boring, and it's completely stupid and boring. And sadly, it's crucially lacking in laughs. And it's a big problem for Vin, because if Vin is going to open his portfolio and become a more family-friendly star, he has to do it with better material than this. If you go back and look at Kindergarten Cop, it's actually not that bad of a film. It's quite well put together. It's, Schwarzenegger acquits himself perfectly fine, and it's really not a bad movie, so it was a smart move for Schwarzenegger. If you want to take kids to go and see something this half-term that they're going to enjoy, either take them to see Millions, which is great, or if you have particularly young girls, I think, there is a film called The Cat Returns, which is a Japanese animation which has been released in 2 different versions, the dubbed version and the subtitled version. And the story is there is a young girl who at the beginning of the film saves a cat that is about to be run over by a truck, and then the cats of the neighbourhood come and say, thank you ever so much for saving Cat. We are going to take you off to the Cat Kingdom, where you are going to be heaped with rewards. And it turns out that the reward is that she's going to have to marry the prince son of the king cat, and then she has to get all these. She has to go to the cat bureau to get all these. And it's really I know, but it's actually.
Why is this for girls?
Well, because the heroine is a
So?
Well, okay, fine. So it's for girls and boys. But I was saying very
lovers.
specific. Yeah, and cat lovers, obviously. I mean, I'm.
And if you're allergic to cats and can't stand them,
it is possible. Well, if you're allergic to cats and you can't stand them, it's a good way to to become friendly with cats, because it's only on the screen, Simon, and therefore it's not real. Plus, if it hadn't been apparent, it's an animation, so they're drawn cats. So therefore, they're doubly not allergic because they're drawn and they're on the screen. So if you have a young girl or maybe a boy who's open-minded, take him to see The Cat Returns. Otherwise, Millions. Are you happy now?
Movie of the week?
Millions.
Still?
Yes.
I love it when you're cross. Thank you, Mark. Have a nice weekend. I think you should take a rest next week.
Yes, because it's half term. I'll take my kids to see Millions.
We're back on Tuesday. Drive comes next.